Shall we continue on? Shall we? Let's do this. First and foremost, as we get ready for this draft, Juuse Saros' contract is about to lose that safety year, meaning he is now trade eligible. I think we'll be taking advantage of that eligibility. Defensively, Nick Hague's deal is up. Logan Stanley, basically all the dudes that we brought in as one-year covers. Burakovsky's deal is up. He does want to come back. I mean, for $4.4 million, he's worth that if he doesn't retire. He had 38 points in 59 games. On our team, that would have been a 52-point pace in the regular season. I would honestly say it's worth keeping Burakovsky around. Obviously not for the money that he wanted. He's bottom six. Now, he's still a third-line scorer. His potential's bottom six. I mean, he might get worse, but he will still be worth it. Probably. Yeah, because of the passing and the shooting and the badges, he'll still be worth it. The good thing is, as well, he is not in no movement clause territory. If I can go $4 million even for the year, Burakovsky. Heads, you get a no trade. Tails, you do not. So he will get a no trade. And I do believe the rule was for no trade clauses. I think it was looking for the exact number of teams. What's the exact number of teams? 3 through 25. So, if we sign Burakovsky to this deal, he gets a 13-team no-trade clause, which, to be honest, I'm good with. That just means the bottom 13 teams in the league he couldn't be signed to. I'd be okay with that, really. I mean, of course, the Saros deal can be taken off of the no-movement clause. I'm going to offer him that deal and see if he takes it. Saron Noel didn't do much with us, unfortunately. Trennan and Costin didn't do much. Palat's probably going to retire. We'll probably looking to keep Florian Jack. He's an RFA too, which is nice. And then Mac is an RFA one more time. Mooney, Terrence is up there. Burke's a UFA, but I'm not too worried about him right now. So we don't have too many major players to worry about in terms of trying to retain heading into the new season. Burakovsky does come back. So again, he is tradable. Just not to any of the bottom 13 teams in the league at the time that we looked to deal him. So the lottery results, we know we're not a part of it. Chicago gets the #1 pick. Montreal moved up from 15 to 5. So that's an interesting one. But yeah. We shall see what happens. We did take a ring off of Burakovsky's finger. Player retirements. Huberdeau, Sagan, Ryan O'Reilly is gone. Ryan Johansson. Tarasenko, Jonathan Marchessault. Andre Palat, indeed, retired. Defensively, Shane Gostisbehere. We were right to trade him. We were right to trade Ghost Bear. He spent a lot of seasons here in Nashville. Solid for us. He was never amazing. Goalie-wise, Varlamov, Gibson, versus Leakins, the big three to retire. I just want to see if we missed anybody else. Sagan, Palat, Gustafsson. We're all depth options for us this year anyway. Nobody appears to have become a coach or a scout. Good to know. So we are off to the draft. We do have our 7 picks that we are allowed to have already. So 17, 49, 54. No third-round picks. Esty, it's been a nightmare. It's been great. What we have to do, above all else, is look to get our first-round pick back for next season from Seattle, if that's possible. Fuck. We just have to try to not be shit next year then. We have to try to not be shit next year. I can't move on from Nick Ness. I can't. Although who knows, that pick could get Seattle a franchise level player if we're bad enough next year. Okay, really quickly. Juuse Saros. Kempe and Kerf. I literally could send him to Colorado. 3rd rounder next year, 5th rounder this year. Ryan Graves, Nico Dawes. A dude named Pekka in a 4th. We could literally send him to Washington for scrubs in a 4th. I don't want to do picks this year because then I'd have to move. That would count as a trade up to get a pick this year. There was Graves and Dawes. There was Kempe and Kerfoot. Washington is quite interested. I mean, bringing in Ryan Graves and Nico Dawes wouldn't be the worst. It's either Kempe and Kerfoot or Graves and Dawes. How has Ryan Graves been since he's still under contract? He's 35 years old. He didn't retire. Zesty, technically no, unless you were to say that you can't stick around until that point. Not be the worst deal in the world to get Ryan Graves. I mean, Nico Dawes is just a goalie. Graves has as many points as Lingard in like 40 less games. It's true. Chicago, 1st overall, takes a dude named Backstrom. If I were to look at the Kempe and the Kerfoot, Kempe is a 3rd liner. I can't guarantee he'd want to sign. Both these guys are mid-30s at this point. I just can't trade him to Colorado. That's the problem. I would, but I really can't do this trade with a Western Conference team because you know magically he won't be that bad. I don't necessarily want anybody back in return. Let's just take this Pekka guy from Washington. Juuse Saros, you're on your way to Washington for a 4th rounder next year and some guy. The Saros era is done in Nashville, and we cleared out a lot of cap space as a result. Really nobody that can be dealt there. Our team is in such a weird spot. I still can't get rid of Svechnikov. Can't get rid of Brady Tkachuk. Macklin. I just got to build around him, man. I can't trade him for Rasmus Anderson. I just can't do it. So we're pretty well locked into what we have here in terms of players to get rid of. The question now is whether or not there's a deal. George Gore. You know, whether or not there's a deal that makes sense in the top 5 or beyond. So Philly, Tampa, or Philly, Tampa, Vegas, Montreal. Is there a deal that makes sense? Philly says no. Tampa. Max got 1 RFA year left, and then we have to pay him big money. Like, he's not a star is the problem. This will help us get younger in our rebuild. I mean, he did score 30 goals for the first time. Could get more as an RFA, though. The problem is, though, whoever has the money to qualify him probably won't. Philly takes Gore. I think we got to take it. Macklin's been better next to Tkachuk, but he still hasn't been amazing. Mac to Tampa for the 3rd overall pick. After what happened this year, changes had to happen. It's 3 left wings. Jaden Duffy with Total Eclipse. Robert Bang with Make It Snappy. Or Tony Korhonen might have Thunderclap, which would be weird. In fact, Tony Korhonen has the Solani comparison. I know this guy's a 6'5" power forward. This guy has a B, where the others don't. This guy's better in every way. Korhonen and Duffy, I got to directly compare. Duffy's the best of the bunch. Duffy is the best of the bunch. I do have a feeling about Korhonen. There's something about Korhonen. Those Duffy character issues concern me a little bit. Character weakness could hurt us, yeah. The fact that this guy has beauty backhand, make it snappy, close quarters, I mean, this guy could be an elite scorer. Duffy, all we know is Relentless, and I gotta be honest, Relentless is kind of a waste. Tony Korhonen. Welcome to Nashville. I feel all right about that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We do have to get rid of a pick. We'll just randomly take Sanchez off of Boston's hand. That was a trade up for the 3rd overall pick, yeah, so we're not allowed to trade up again. I guess technically that 5th round pick that I just moved could be considered a trade down, but it's not really. It's just making sure that I'm still eligible, but yeah, we'll see. So we have no choice but to see who's available with our next pick. Korhonen is a left wing selection. So pick number 17 for us. Simon Lalonde, Derek Hunwick. Lalonde's 3 years out. Hunwick is 3 years out. Blake Bennett is an overager. Apparently 1 year out as... What is an overager doing at this stage of the draft? What? I might take this guy just because how fucking weird that is. Kai Luutinen. There's Yahir Gomez. Chat's saying that that doesn't necessarily count as a trade down, so I'm good with that. There's Rabada, who does have abilities, but he's like a 65 overall. Do we have anybody else who's flirting with X Factors here? Salvador Mills. I know, I haven't seen a first round overager in a while. Mika Tukio is an interesting one. There's also Petri Lorikainen, but he is 3 years out. Evan Cantor. Jamison Murley, unconfirmed ankle breaker. Goalie Sven Silfverberg. Oof. Silfverberg's not bad in terms of a new goalie project, at least double up our chances. So it's Silfverberg at pick number 39. Tukio at 31. Karel Verbata or Blake Bennett, the overager? I'm going to call a timeout here to see what we want to do. Chat's saying I'm allowed to trade down from here, so I don't hate that. So Bennett's the really interesting one. He did very well with Everett. Tukio I can take. But then I could technically lose a little bit of control. I get one wild card pick. You know, so it's like I got to take one of each position and one free position. So he would be our free position. So Bennett, unconfirmed. What a weird player, especially as an overager. There's Carl Verbata, who again is going to be a mid-60s overall, but has 2 silver abilities. There's Mika Tukio, another left wing, 1 year out apparently. Confirmed no contest. I mean, Tukio's probably the guy over Verbata so far. And then there's this goalie Sven Silverberg, who is 3 years out, so he'll be in the 60s, but he has some abilities. Again, we don't desperately need a goalie right now. Like, yes, we just got rid of Saros, but we do have Like and Mironov on the way up, particularly Like. No abilities for him, though. This is a weird one. This is a weird one for us here. Bennett is just very, very interesting. I haven't seen a player like that, and we could technically take Verbata as well without having to trade down. If we wanted Tukio, we would have to trade down towards 31, or Silverberg would be at 39. So number 31 is Toronto. Either way, it's Toronto. Bennett screams bust. He does. But he is also a little bit intriguing. I'm not willing to trade those picks. Technically, that would be trading up with that. Okay. So, really quickly, if I were to trade away this pick, the 36th pick and a second next year from Vegas, that would jump us ahead of Toronto. So technically, we could trade down. That would get us the goalie. But I got to be honest, it's Tukio being a year out. Can't do 2 draft picks. That's right. Yeah, you're right. There were 2 draft picks. I fucking hate that rule. That's why I put it in there. You're right. We can't do it. I don't think I can risk it for Bennett when we know Tukio is there. You know? Winnipeg, New Jersey. That rule is annoying. That's why it's there. That is why it is there. Winnipeg. Like. Does nobody want to trade down by trading up for my pick? Apparently not. Well, I hate to say it, I don't really see a way I can get Tukio because we already traded up. So it's either Blake Bennett or Carl Verbata. Because again, I'm allowed to sort by scout rank and Verbata's there. So either way, they're both eligible. Or I trade down and take the goalie. There is just something about Blake Bennett, though. An overager being ranked 21st. I don't think I've seen that all year long. And I know it's probably not worth it. Montez, what's going on? Again, Verbata's your average run-of-the-mill medium top 4 defender. There is just something about Bennett that is super intriguing, especially if I can't land Tukio. As I wish that I could. I honestly think it's either we trade the pick to trade down to get Silver, but I can't get Silver. It's got to be Bennett. It's got to be Bennett. Out to Flankenberry on the primer. What a name, by the way. Thank you for that. I'm going to go for the overager and Blake Bennett. It's crazy, but it's the way. Blake Bennett's the guy. And we'll see if the rare overager to show up is actually worth it. From here, the next round, there was another defenseman who is very similar to who we did not take. We just don't know about the abilities. I now have lost my free pick, by the way, so... Well, pretty obvious here. Next round, no doubt about it. The defenseman, Andrei Chubasov, is our guy. We have another pick here in the second round, not that far away either. Hello, Jordan goalie. There is Tyson Ferraro. The guy who's about 3 years old. Ooh, Frolov. Big boy, Frolov. Big boy, Frolov. About scout rank. I think it's got to be... I can't take Frolov because he's a left wing. I've already used that free pick. Yeah. So we'll go for the lefty instead. Tyson Ferraro. No reason to trade down. We go all the way to the 4th round. Pick number 101. Right defenseman Ricardo Ennis. I cannot take him. We are looking at a center, a right wing, and a goalie. So it's either Shane Lampman or Dustin Chang. Lampman's also an overager, 4 years out, unconfirmed wheels. Or the 6'4" goalie, and that is exactly who we'll take. With Chang. We're going to go for the goalie. Again, now left D and a center. Or not left D, right wing and a center. Easy for me to forget, apparently. So this Tierney. Already took a goalie. We sort by scout rank. It's one of the two. It's either Tierney or Parody. We do have our trade down, but at this rate, it's probably not particularly worth it. Although both these guys do suck. So, we'll see what happens here. Can move down to 133 and pick up a random dude. Can move down a few spots and pick up a random dude. Hagel. There is the Hebig from Zesty. So it's really no longer worth trading down. Paulie, it's been a nightmare. Oh, there is the Hebig. So we will go with Hebig. And I'm going to have to go with the first Hebig that qualifies, which is either Jacques Levesque or Jyrki Salminen. And technically, Jacques Levesque was first, so there is our center pick. Well, Jacques Levesque. Which means we need a right wing in this next round, and we only have one option, and it's actually a medium top 6 forward. Long way from being ready, but Henrik Johansson rounds out the draft for us here. Bit of a weird one, but we move on from Juuse Saros. We take a big risk with Bennett, but the big news, Macklin Celebrini is gone in favor of the 3rd overall pick, which we used to select Korhonen. It's a major change. Again, Macklin was due for a contract. It was going to be, I believe, the 2nd to last year of RFA status for him, and it was just kind of proof like he wasn't going to be worth what he was going to ask for money-wise. He just wasn't. I feel like Brady Tkachuk could do just as well next to Mooney. So, in terms of goalies, well, pretty straightforward. We'll keep Festerini around, Emil Vinny, and we will sign Mironov. And that'll leave room to try and bring in a starter in free agency. Defensively, Nick Hague wants to come back, and I love me some Nick Hague, but I need to see what other options are out there. We'll also let go of Logan Stanley. Dylan McKinnon at this point can go. Smith can go. Zaitsev is staying. Muir is a medium 7th. Rick Muir, 7th rounder in 2028. Not going to sign him. On the right, Sarah Noel can go. Sanchez, for the hell of it, we'll keep him. Here's a random tack on. Fletcher, not great, but we'll sign him. Low 9 for Schwinnard, 4th round pick in 2028. He has good passing. Might as well sign him. Hendry is a low bottom 6. He gone. Primo is an even lower rated 3 or older. Low 9. He gone. Left wings. Yakov Trenin, Klim Kostin. Both out. We will keep Florian Jacki. Gonna drop Eckford at this point. Burakovsky was not a broken player. No. He was okay, but not quite what we were hoping to get. Johansson, you're going to be out of here. Oh, we have a lot of left wings. I'm aware of Burakovsky's potential drop, but that doesn't mean that his overall is shit. Like, it can still be decent. And then for the centers, Mooney might end up being our top guy. Kerry Terrence, one AHL player of the year. We can bring him back, maybe put him on the 4th line. We got Svitov. Honestly, Nolan Burke's been a good soldier for us. We can keep Willis around. He's been okay. Tyler Peddle, time for you to go. Kept you around for a while. All right, so yeah, not too much to do in terms of high-value business. That'll be saved for free agency. Yeah, just a lot of RFAs. And obviously you saw, too, we lost a lot of the coaching staff. So that'll have to be fixed up as well. You guys got your wish that Manderville was gone. So who is available is the question. We'll start off in goal. RFAs include nobody special, so it won't be an RFA option. But UFAs include Askarov, Casa, Levi, Carter Hart as elite options. Casa's only looking for a 1-year deal. The rest, and Hart's looking for 2. Askarov and Levi looking for 7-year deals. I just can't. I cannot give a goalie that long of a contract. Gabriel Daggs out there as a backup still. I can't in good faith. And again, we got rid of Dagg because he wasn't doing anything for us. I mean, he was even bad in Bakersfield when we traded him to Edmonton. Is there a younger goalie in the mix? It could be interesting to sign. There is Medvedev. Might be a high fringe, but Sergei Medvedev is a medium starter. There's Acton. A couple of guys, but nobody too crazy. Kind of similar to what we already have. So, probably be in on Casa or Hart. Defense. RFAs. Gulyayev, who used to be ours, and Oliver Bonk. So, again, nobody crazy. UFAs, no top 2s, but for top 4s, Jake Chikrin's out there. Couple of options as top 4. Defenseman, no reason to not really bring somebody in, depending on the money. And then for forwards, RFAs include Mooney, who is ours. Savoy. Someone like Inkinen. That does mean that a former player of ours just signed in Tampa. $10 million for 8 years. I'm sorry, he's not worth that. $10 million for 8 years would have crippled us. There's just no way he was going to get that contract from us. There was no way. Even playing next to Brady Tkachuk, he wasn't worth that amount of money. So we moved on at the right time. It sucks to lose a 90 overall player, but we moved on at the right time. So for UFAs at forward, Beniers, Bolduc, Pelletier, Gunther, and Kevin Fiala. I mean, if we're going to spend big money, I'd like to think one of them will be worth it a little bit more. Okay. Money isn't really a concern for us. Carter Hart posted a 900 last year. Casa posted an 899. We will still likely offer Sebastian Casa a deal. Comes down to a simple coin flip. Heads, no movement clause. Tails, does not get one. And he doesn't get one. So it's basically a risk-free option to try to sign Sebastian Casa. We'll go 7.5 for the upcoming season. If it doesn't work out, we can trade him. So let's go with that for Sebastian Casa. Defensively, it's a little bit more difficult. There's Jake Chikrin. He wants 3 years and not for that amount. I mean, I like that he can score goals, but that's like another Shane Goss despair. I mean, maybe he could score more goals for us, but Ryan Johnson? 50 points. That's an aberration, though. He was never showcasing he could be a 50-point guy. We're not going to fall for that contract. Gran's not looking that good. JJ Moser. Dual position. 30 to 40-point guy. Dual position. Not looking for the worst contract in the world. Or a 1-year deal on Darnell Nurse, who was abysmal last year in Edmonton at his advanced age. Corson Coolmans might not be that bad defensively, but could have just been on a good team in Columbus. Career plus minus of a +2. Liljegren, Jack Pearce. Leafs fan, just remember, it could always be worse. I mean, hey, Nashville's never won a Stanley Cup. I don't know what the Darnell Nurse ability situation is right now. I mean, Nurse is the most intriguing one because it's a 1-year deal. Everyone else, except for Hotala, is requesting term, and I don't know a damn thing about Mikko Hotala, aside from the fact that he was a 7th-round pick. I don't know a damn thing about that guy. I gotta be honest, I think it's Darnell Nurse. Would Darnell get a no-movement clause? Yes. No, we wouldn't. It's tails. Well, for the sole fact that he wouldn't get a no-movement clause. Again, I wouldn't mind Moser, but him wanting 3 years, if that ends up on a no-movement clause, not that we can't roll for it. Career of a -49. He's not overly physical. He does block a good amount of shots. What do we got for Darnell in that category? I know you're a bit older. Darnell's a little bit more physical, blocks as many shots, might have badges. I gotta go for Darnell. I gotta do it. So Darnell, 6.5 for the year, buddy, and then I can deal you at the deadline, should I choose to. So that brings us to the forwards. 777, but only 2 years wanted from Gunther. Matty Beniers has at times shown he can be elite, but hasn't quite been that for Seattle, and also has a track record of not staying overly healthy. So Matty Beniers is a bit of a risk. Bolduc. Same kind of range that Macklin was in. The question is, will they be better on our team than they were the Macklin happened to be? Pelletier. Same type of player. Gunther. None of these guys are worth the price that they're asking for. They're just not. The only guy who would be is Gunther, and it's to drop it to a 1-year deal. To have a top line of Kachuk, Mooney, Gunther. That'd be the only reason. But for whatever reason, even if he does have the badges, he hasn't been an elite goal scorer. There's no way Barrett Hayton's been an elite goal scorer. Fiala was pretty good last year. I mean, 67 points. It'd have to be at least a 2-year deal for him. This Nighthawk kicks in overpay. Fun. Akil Thomas. I don't know if any of these guys are necessarily worth. Oh, William Nylander. 29 goals for Willie last year. I don't think anyone was able to top that. I mean, you had the guys towards the top with 29 goals, but bringing a veteran of William Nylander. Easy enough to deal him out if it doesn't work. That's if he wouldn't have a no movement clause. It comes down to a coin flip. We weren't going to get lucky 3 times in a row. Sign William Nylander. It's a 1-year deal. He can't go anywhere. But he seems like the best option. Fiala would have to be at least a 2-year deal, and he's older. I think it's going to be Nylander. At 7.7 because of the overpay. He is not allowed to go anywhere if he does sign. But I feel like he's our best option in terms of bang for buck. And not having to commit to someone who might not be all that good. Didn't actually mean to back out of that. So our 3 targets: Nylander, Darnell Nurse, Sebastian Casa. All of them essentially stopgaps. None of them are the long-term solutions, I'd presume. We have no coaching staff whatsoever anymore. Let's see if we can fix that. Honestly, do we go for real coaches? I mean, real coaches haven't worked. The best coaches haven't worked. Fuck's sake. Let's just go for real people then. Except for Ovi, because you guys fired Ovi. Nazem Kadri, how would you like to come back? Try to train you up. Drew Doughty was under contract with us. We'll bring him back. Yeah, I mean, you guys fired Ovi. I don't think I'm bringing him back. And those are the only 2 guys. No, that's right. Joe Pavelski's still out there. But we also had guys in the AHL, best guys in the NHL. That's what I normally do, but even that hasn't worked. Ryan Suter, you guys fired before. That's not Kasperi Kapanen because he's way too old. Yeah, I think we will offer all of these guys the head coach spot, and we'll see if any of them take it without me having to do anything kind of ridiculous, like scroll to offer a contract for 17 years. It's the definition of insanity. This game. Everybody knows that. We all play this game and expect something else, I think. Or act as if we don't know. So, rehire over. Chat was doing a full. Chat fired him, man. That's all it comes down to. I mean, in fairness, Ovi was at the helm last season when we missed the playoffs, so that's his fault. That's his fault. I have no sympathy for that man, real life or virtual. Let's see what happens here. Joe Pavelski elects to go to the New York Islanders. Bernard Bouchard, though, did take that head coaching job. But yeah, no Joe Pavelski. Which I'm okay with him moving on to bigger and better things. Nazem Kadri is back. Drew Doughty. See what we have for other coaching offers here in a second. Holy scouts. So many scouts. There we go. All right, what do we got left for coaching spots? We need only 1 coach and then the goalie coaches. So Gardner will offer you AHL assistants. And Blair will do the same thing. And then honestly, the 3 A minuses. Let's just get this done now. Pierre Audette. Mario Fanouf. Someone's going to take that spot, right? Not all these guys can decline, I would imagine. In before they all do. It'll happen. Let's see. Darnell Nurse, William Nylander, Sebastian Casa. All signed with the Nashville Predators, ending our off-season rather quickly. In all honesty, that was some pretty tidy business. We bring in 3 impact players, at least I hope so. Only one of them, Alex Nylander, William Nylander, has that no movement clause. Darnell Nurse, Sebastian Casa could both be dealt if we end up being in a bit of trouble. We do still have LJ Mooney as an RFA, but I'm going to try to wait him out if I can. I feel like if someone was going to sign him, they would have already, as the season rolls over to 2030-31. Let's double check with those RFAs really quickly. So Mr. Mooney, 2-year deal would take you to the end of your RFA status, buddy, at $1.4 million. I'm willing to try that. You're the only RFA. Yes, you are. I signed that Finn that we just got. I haven't signed anybody yet, but I am going to be taking a look. Ness isn't quite ready. All these guys are other forwards. Bennett also listed as an other forward. Korhonen as a depth forward probably will be signed right out of the gates. Yeah, everyone else appeared to still be in other forward or defender territory, so we won't rush them anywhere. Yeah, we won't rush anybody else. Yeah, Korhonen, you could argue, the merits to not signing him immediately and letting him develop elsewhere, but I don't hate the idea of bringing him in and just seeing what he can do. Call up Thorne. We'll have 3 and 3. Defensively, York, Ekblad, Nurse, Rawlings, Safronov. Zaitsev deserves that chance. Kind of make or break for him. So that's our defense. We'll have York, Nurse, and Rawlings on the left. Ekblad, Safronov, Zaitsev on the right to start it off. Burakovsky has dropped down to a depth level. He fell off harshly. He is the Barabanov of this season. Let's see, Sanchez is 23, Turner's 21. I'm not against sending down Turner. We'll give the Sanchez guy an opportunity. Second line. Hey, Svechnikov up to a second liner. That's not bad. Florian Xhekaj will get a chance on the team this year. Vince Jacobs randomly showing up with an ability. We do want Korhonen on the roster in favor of Ulanov. So Korhanen's probably on the 3rd line, Xhekaj on the 4th. And then for centers, we know... Oh, sorry, Mooney hasn't signed yet. We should wait for that. We should wait for LJ because he is probably our top center. Bouchard talking about a 9-game trial. Pick a number between 1 and 3. We roll a 3. Oh, well, hit too far. I disagree. I think we need to give him a 9-game trial. Fuck. Well, this time I'll pick a 3 because I picked the wrong one. Damn right, Bernard. Let me do my job because you don't even know if you're a head coach next to your son. Chill out. All right, there is LJ Mooney, who did take the 2-year deal. So at center, got to call up Mooney. It's Mooney, Garlock, Terrence. Svitov's 23. He does kind of deserve that make or break spot. It's either him, Willis, Burke, someone like that. So if we take a look at the team, again, line chemistry is irrelevant for the moment. We probably go Nylander, Koski, Ranta, Burakovsky, Sanchez. Kachuk, Svechnikov, Korhonen, Xhekaj, Mooney, Garlock, Probably Terrence and Svitov, given Carey Terrence's prior season. So Kornin at least has Burakovsky to work with. Svechnikov's in a spot where he has to really carry his line. Defense, York, Nurse, Rawlings, Zaitsev, Safronov, Ekblad. And of course, the big change, it is not Juuse Saros' goal anymore. I wish it was, but he made it pretty clear it was the right decision to get rid of him as fast as we possibly could. So we're right back from where we were last year, where it's like this team can definitely make the playoffs, to now being in a spot where it's like, oh, yeah, maybe we'll make it. We probably won't. It'll probably come down to the last week of the season again. All the typical fun stuff.